that I unapologetically love The Sims 4 Create a Sim. I spend so much of my time playing this game in Create a Sim, and over a year ago now, I did a video where I was inspired by Dr. Ashley. Ashley usually does those videos for build mode, but I decided to do a Create a Sim version where I went through all the swatches that you might have forgotten about. And just a few days ago, Bond with Bees commented on that said video and was like, I would absolutely love it if you did a Create a Sim from behind. Now, hold up, it's not what it sounds like. All I mean by this is I'm going to show off Create a Sim assets that maybe look a little bit different in the back than how you imagine they would. Because some people never turn their Sims around whilst they are creating them, which I do feel is valid. However, some of these items definitely look better from behind. So that's what we're gonna check out today. Have you ever tried this one? I can't believe I'm planning on calling this Create a Sim from behind. Can't wait to get demonetized. Starting off with feminine tops. We're going to go through all of the tops, then full body assets, and then the bottoms. But this is like the OG. This is the one that I feel probably most people know about, but it's also probably the one that is most likely to catch people off guard. This is from Backyard Stuff, and if you turn this around, it's actually a bodysuit. But in the back of this bodysuit, we have this absolutely stunning lace. I adore this so flippin' much. I do have to give a little bit of a disclaimer because there were some that I was thinking about adding to this video, but really they just kind of had like different straps, maybe a little detail on like a strap or like a strap pattern from behind and straps. Get your minds out of the gutter, I say to myself. This is a top from Vintage Glamour. From the front, kind of just looks like a bit more of a formal t-shirt, but then in the back, it just has this cute little like open detail with a button on the top. It's not the most glamorous asset, which is hilarious considering it is part of Vintage Glamour. It's not my favorite, but I did want to include it for the fact that it kind of just looks like a regular t-shirt and then it's got a little bit of pizzazz. I feel like this top doesn't get as much love as it deserves, and I think that's probably because the color swatches honestly aren't that great. And I don't think everyone is like a massive fan of like big stitching, but I do just enjoy this for a cutout. You are about to see an awful lot of cutouts, because whilst I was like, I don't want to include just strap patterns, I will include a cutout. Get to work. We are taking it all the way back. Now, don't get me wrong, it's the oldest expansion that we have in the game, so of course assets are gonna look pretty flat. There's not much 3D to them. I really love this like twisted back though. I think it looks so cool. And then obviously you can kind of see the little bandeau top around the back of it. This genuinely looks like a vest that I would have bought from Primark in like 2013, 2014 when I was going to Leeds Fest. Another get to work special. Now you might be thinking, what the heck? This is just a little hoodie. Like, there is nothing you could show me that would surprise me about this. Tell me why I've never paid attention to the little love hearts on the elbows. Is that not the cutest thing you have ever seen? Excuse her little peach. We'll get on to that. Maybe I should just do the trousers as I'm also talking about the top. That's probably an easier way. These came with Love Struck. This is honestly the most important one. All the others kind of just have peaches on or are just like their own color, whereas this one has a little peach on the front, but you turn it around and bam, peach stamped on the ass. I thought these Strangerville shorts were pretty cute just for the little flower embroidery they have going on the right hand back pocket. If there is a pattern on the front of something, it's very likely in The Sims 4 that that pattern is going to carry on to the back. It might not take up the full thing, it might not be as like overall as the front pattern, but usually they try to balance out the front and the back. So if you're liking a design on the front, make sure you're always checking the back. I honestly can't really remember when we got these jeans added into base game, but I did want to include them just for this, you know, cheeky little rip that they have going on near the cheek. cheeks. Raise your hand if you have ever used this vampire skirt. I can't say I ever have, and I did gloss over like a lot of Batu and a lot of vampires because I was like, realistically, how many times do people use this? Imagine how uncomfortable that would be. I wouldn't be able to wear this skirt, but I do like the kind of ruffles that they have going on, and I think it's just kind of interesting. And I definitely wouldn't have known that that was a thing if I was just looking at it from the front. I would have just assumed that then it was all this kind of material. Gave a little teaser for this one. One of my absolutely favorite assets we have ever received, and you might be looking at it thinking, that is the ugliest skirt I ever did see. Why is this one of your favorites? What are you talking about? It's from City Living. It's aged badly. Quabam, it's a score. Tell me that is not the best thing you have ever seen. I love in The Sims 4 when a pair of shorts looks like a skirt. I just think it adds so much like depth. Little bowling night top, very cutesy, very, you know, frilly, definitely cute for maybe a little date night or a little summer fit. And I genuinely love the bow in the back. This is definitely when assets started to get a little bit more detailed and they started going a little bit more 3D. I did want to include these trousers, which are part of the newest pack, businesses and hobbies, just as more of a red flag, a warning, I guess you could say. I'm not a huge fan of like how long their drawstring is, but in the front I don't mind it. However, this also does exist in the back. On every single swatch you also have the drawstring on the back, which realistically thinking, what does that do? I might be out the loop here, this might be in fashion, but I am not a fan of it, and I wish that the back strings didn't exist. I also wished that they had used this silhouette as just like a jean material as well, because they truly are giving like DJ Candy realness, but yet we are stuck with them being tracksuit bottoms. Another bowling night stuff, and of course we have a bowling shirt. This one has a little logo on the back. You will see an awful lot of logos in this video, just as a heads up. This one just, I guess, feels like a little bowling team that you might support, you might be representing. And I gave away the island living surprise once again. I always think of one of my mods over on Twitch when I see this island living skirt, because again, it looks like a skirt from the front and then it's shorts, and these three patterns are some of my favorite, and I'm so thankful to Megs, my mod, for introducing me to this skirt, because I don't think I've stopped using it ever since I found out that it wasn't actually a skirt. Discover University. I bet you'll never guess what is on the back of these tracksuits. I bet you have absolutely no idea. Of course, do you like jazz? Discover University definitely came with a lot of like branding based on Brightchester and also Foxbury. So these have a little juicy couture moment over the bum, and they have the kind of uni symbols etched on them. The first 10 swatches are all plain, but if you go anywhere into these swatches, just know that you're repping a uni on your bottom. Same thing with the shorts from Discover University. However, annoyingly, the first 6 swatches on this one are all the ones that have the branding, and then all of the others are just the regular plain swatches. Don't ask me why they couldn't have kept the swatches cohesive between the two. A little base game babe moment. I had no idea, probably because I never ever use this shirt, this one that has kind of like the light bulb idea on it, but it does have a little message in Simlish on the back. I think this is kind of cute maybe if you do have like a little like geek club, or maybe like an ideas club, like a creative writing class or something. Maybe you have get together and you want to set like a club uniform. This could be pretty good for you. Maybe you're like a camp counselor or something. The classic base game leather jacket. Try and tell me this doesn't look like Vlad. It has like press studs and spikes and these like diamantes. So it's not very low-key, but I guess you wouldn't really know that the back had like big prints on it. My favorite is definitely the like sad clown. Eco lifestyle shorts, obviously you have a couple of plain swatches, but this is kind of what I meant when something is patterned on the front. Just turn it around to the back and make sure that the pattern really lives up to what you want it to be. I don't think you would class this as crochet. It's kind of more of like, I guess, like a macrame vest top from Strangerville. I just love the design on the back. It's not really anything special. Of course, you will have all of this like lattice work in the front, so you would maybe probably assume that you would also have that in the back, but it has got a nice little detail to it. And then this werewolf skirts, how can we tell that it's from werewolves? Because it has a moon on. High school years denim jacket. You can obviously tell that this has had like custom stuff done to it. There is actually only one swatch of this, but if you turn it around to the back, I bet you didn't know the level of artwork that it had. I'm actually gutted that it does only come in one swatch. Like, I would love to have this in different colors and also different art. I love it when you can tell that a developer really was just like enjoying drawing assets, and I definitely feel like this is a one of those. And these cute little werewolf shorts, again from the front, they're kind of unassuming. Like, you wouldn't really tell that these were anything but denim shorts. Yeah, on the back you don't only just have these cute little like patch pockets that come in a range of different colors depending on which swatch you choose, but you also have this adorable waist high. Something I was so shocked by when I was playing Home Chef Hustle, I was probably playing this pack for a good 2.5 weeks before I noticed that some of these t-shirts had designs on the back. So this little like prawn, I want to say it's like it feels like a like linguine type situation, has this design. The fish has some writing on the back. The chicken has wings, and then the egg also just has a little bit of writing. We're sticking with werewolves when it comes to the bottoms. We obviously have the skirt with like this fluffy kind of jacket on it, but the jacket also has a little hood on it. You can also see the inside label of the jacket, which I think is a lovely little detail, but she is very 2D. The hoodie is not hoodieing. Pretty plain t-shirt when it comes to for rent, but I absolutely love the little button details that you have going down the back. I love when they take something quite simple and then just zhuzh it up a little bit with detailing. Then I wanted to include these Symptomates trackies just because of this little logo. It kind of looks like it says INF. I don't know if we've seen this branding maybe anywhere else in The Sims 4. I do enjoy when they get cohesive with their branding, but I just thought I would point that out in case you had never noticed that it does have a logo. Even though throughout this video I've said usually they're cohesive between the front and the back, this for rent one kind of caught me off guard, because if you turn it to the side, it looks like that little pattern stops on this vest top, but then if you go to the back, all the middle column, like right down the spine, has the same color. Also, this horse ranch skirt, again, they're kind of taking that embroidery and that detailing that they have on the front, and they're putting it onto the back pockets once again. Not gonna lie, fully thought that this was Batu. I was about to say Journey to Batu with my whole chest. I've already embarrassed myself about my Create Sim knowledge this week. I don't need to be doing that for a second time, but this is Crystal Creations. This little wraparound jumper t-shirt combo. The t-shirt has a little hoodie on the back, and once again, if you couldn't tell, distressed jeans is obviously, I was gonna say werewolves. I need to stop being so cocky. The grunge kit, when it comes to these two last swatches, you've got little drawings on them, and then if you turn them around to the back, you've also got the continuation of those little drawings. Seasons. We don't have enough tie-dye stuff in the game. I would also just love it if we had tie-dye in general, like actually as an activity that your Sims could do, but the holes also make their way onto the back. I just love how homemade this looks. Like, that genuinely looks like they've just taken an old vest top that maybe has started to grow a couple of holes in it and been like, wait, I can fix this, and then they've handmade this. And then these Love Struck shorts, I wanted to kind of put point this out just because it feels very prominent on some of these, more so the bright swatches, but there are very contrasting like zips and labels. So maybe if you wanted to just draw the color from these shorts and like apply it to the rest of the outfit, cute little detail that you might grow a fit off. The Get Famous bomber jacket, which I think this was also then included in a base game update with some like recolors at some point, but some of these again do have little patterns on the back. You kind of have this cross-stitch skull with all the flowers. That exists on the one that has a rose, and then on the one that has the llama, you obviously have the sleeve writing as well, and you have this little like llama logo on the back. And then for this one that has the graffiti across the front, you do also have this label. These trousers aren't super different, but I just love the detailing that they went for around here. Like this actually carries on like all the way around, but I love that this has two little buttons. Island Living probably was the inspiration behind this video. Aside from the backyard stuff bodysuit, I really feel like Island Living assets from the back are absolutely stunning. So first off, we have what you assume to be a little halter, but then the like straps of the bikini underneath. You can't really see them in the front because of the halter, but they all go crisscross across the back, and I love the really low dip. These once again came from the newest expansion. I just wanted to point out that they do have these little lines across the bottom of the ankles, and then if we remove her top, it also has this bit. These definitely feel like motorbike leathers. Like they're definitely, I think, influenced by that. I don't know if this has maybe any meaning to it. Who knows? It could ruin your outfit. It could throw off the whole aesthetic. My very favorite Island Living top ever. I use this so often, and I'm sure people probably have like questioned why I've been using it so much. You turn it to the back. Oh, just everything about it fits so well. Just the way this is so square, like it just feels so sharp and so nice, and it's so like eye-catching to me. These trousers, again, from the newest expansion, they obviously have this little chain on, but you might have been thinking, what does this like actually attach to? It's a little wallet in the back pocket, or a phone, I guess you could say, but it doesn't really like stick out enough as a phone. It feels like a little like wallet chain, and I love that little detail. Just an unassuming university jumper, full on roll neck with cute little elbow pads on the sleeves. A couple of them have stars, a couple of them have love hearts. I think this is probably my favorite swatch, and then others just have like the regular circle. There are a lot of jumpers in The Sims 4 that have elbow pads that you probably didn't know about. Again, this little vest top from Discover University, I genuinely always just thought that this was like a plain vest top, kind of like this, like it just had this back, but it actually has a really nice crossover that does have some detail and depth when it comes to the little knot. Snowy Escape jumper, again, just a cozy little jumper with some little bow detailing down the back. Another one that I chose for the elbow pads that you maybe didn't know that this jumper from Cottage Living had. Unfortunately, they are just kind of a little bit boring. They're kind of given old man, but in a super cozy way. This was originally Get Famous. I think some of these swatches still probably are Get Famous, but then some of them are also available in just base game, and a couple of them do just have designs on the back. So this one with the tiger on, this pink one with the flamingos also has a crane, a bird. I can't look at them the same since Sunrise on the Reaping. And then this blue number with the little love heart has a number 9. Gorgeous, stunning top from My Wedding Stories. I mean, what is not to love about that circular cutout with the little tassels? Again, the detail, I love the sharpness of it. I love when they really do a cutout well, and they just have a sharpness to the shape. A lot of werewolf stuff. This wolf t-shirt has an awful lot of like tour dates. They feel very like rock and roll, a little bit grunge. This little denim jacket from Werewolves, this is what the original swatch looks like. You got a werewolf on the front, and then it does have moon phases on the back, and also a full-on werewolf. I love some of the colors of these swatches. Also the stitching like down the sleeves, very heavily distressed. This little high school years blazer once again has elbow pads. They do kind of fit in a little bit more with the garment itself just because of the color swatches that they've chose. I want to know how many of you knew about this, because I feel like people don't really use these like formal vests all that often, although these have definitely been coming into fashion again more recently. Another one from high school years with a back detailing that I have never ever paid attention to. Another cute little werewolves denim jacket. You've obviously got this kind of like translucent lace in the front, but did you know that also carries on to the back, so you can kind of see the vest top underneath. You again have the distressing on the sleeves, but I absolutely love especially this in the white. I just think it looks so nice. It's just something so different. Even like the texture, we don't really have a lot of that in The Sims 4, and it's really nice to see them playing around with different textures. Werewolves really carried this video, I'm not gonna lie. This little distressed hoodie with the big hole in the shoulder does have a couple of like werewolf prints, but my favorite is the moon phase one. Unfortunately, there's only like 4 of these. This is originally what this little shirt looks like. Tell me that doesn't look like a Night in the Woods character. Obviously, you can tell that there's loads of patches. Those patches and drawings do carry on. However, on this swatch, where it starts to get stripy, you have, once again, the little moon phases going along the back. And these kind of look like they are done in glitter. They look fully handmade. You also have little patches going on. I love, love, love this Sentiment's bra. I think it's so cute. It's really, really cute from the front, but then you just go to the back, and I love how different this is. I fear I would be so uncomfortable wearing this in real life, but in the game, it's stunning. Another base game asset that is kind of unassuming. This just takes me back to wearing a nice top and jeans whenever I went out. But the gold on the front also makes its way over to the back, obviously with like a deeper V. I did say it was mostly werewolves that had tour dates on the back, but this specific t-shirt, this like off the shoulder shirt that came with Horse Ranch, when it comes to this swatch, kind of looks like, you know, a country artist, maybe a tour t-shirt. Also has a little like made up tour dates on the back of it. This grunge kit hoodie, one of my favorites. I use this so frequently. I absolutely love the design, but once you get over to this purple, again, you have kind of like a little concert hoodie, kind of a band logo. Same with the one next to it. This feels like band merchandise, and you have the tour dates going down the back. Moving on from the grunge kit over to the goth galore kit, we have this little skeleton, which always reminds me of Sid from Toy Story. I just feel like this is like the outfit that he wears, but once you get to the Bonehilda swatch, you do have some flowers along the top of the back for Bonehilda, and then for the Freezer Bunny, you get the back of the Freezer Bunny with his little tail. The same actually happens for quite a few of the Christmas jumpers that we have in base game. The snowman on the front, if you turn it, you can see the snowman's like back. A lot of like the jerseys tend to have numbers, so if you are choosing something that looks a little bit more sporty and you're like, oh yeah, this feels like some type of jersey, always make sure you're checking the back for graphics. You thought we were done with feminine Sims? Nope, we're just getting started. Genuinely can't believe how many I found. Love Struck, once again, I'm not as much of a fan of this as I am the other ones that have had like big cutouts and shapes, but kind of just looks like your unassuming little vest top, and then you have this big teardrop. Love Struck top, which obviously is iconic anyway, based on the like comic strip pop art and the representation that it includes, but then on this little love heart, you have the skeletons kissing on the back. Love Struck really did switch it up with the back of the tops a little bit. Again, you just kind of think this is going to be a t-shirt. Yeah, it's judged up by the fact that you throw it on over this little like lace vest top, this feels like, but then the t-shirt just has this little button. I kind of wish we had this just as a t-shirt without this underneath it. I love when t-shirts have like square necks. Again, I don't really think I'd wear them like in real life just because I don't think they'd suit me, but I do think it adds a little bit of interest makes them more interesting to look at than just like a regular t-shirt. Another bomber jacket that came with base game that does in fact have quite a few back designs. So a lot of these either have the little like tattooed Freezer bunny, and then you've also got some with script. You also have that on the jerseys that also came with that update. For this Juneteenth t-shirt, you have the 1865 along the back of just these first couple of swatches, the first three. I felt mean, felt like I had to throw at least a little bit of base game in there. I absolutely hate this top. I probably would never use it. It's this I stole his dog and dyed it key lime green little number that we have going on, but I do like the little dangly neck fastener on the back. Again, another base game one that I never ever use, but for those of you who do just have base game, if you do want to use something that's a little bit more interesting, you kind of have this scoop on the back of this top. Emma rocked this for so many years, but this has a really deep V, as does the glittery version of it. From high school years, Fairy Little Peach, one of my girlfriend's favorite artists actually. She's followed Fairy Little Peach for so many years. Obviously love the frog, but also love that it has little lily pads on the back. This is actually from Get Together, and I just love this simple little bar across this opening. Movie hangout stuff. She's my favorite stuff pack from before stuff packs got good, and I really like how they've kind of threaded these straps together. One of my very favorite assets of all time. City Living, I say it all the time, but her creator sim will always be famous to me. Some people say that it's aged really, really badly. I still get so much use out of City Living, and I love the back of this jumpsuit. I mean, I love this just in general, but I do think the back definitely adds to it. Vintage Glamour, this dress also will always be famous to me. I use her so often, and it's more so because of the deep V. Especially it looks so good if your sim has like a really good back tattoo. Like imagine a gold back tattoo on this. Oh, stop it. Loving the little slippers that we have going on these outfits. But for this cats and dogs dress, the lace does actually make its way round to the back. Realm of Magic. How many times are you going to use this asset? But it does have some like ripping. Kind of looks like maybe a spellcaster who is overcharged, who is like powering out of their clothes maybe. Island Living, full body. I love anything that has like a knot or a little point of interest. I'm sure you can see that by now. Another stunning dress from Get Famous. I know she was the catfish. I know everyone was expecting it in more of a gold color, but I will always love her, and again her big open back. Stunning for a wedding. Most people probably know about this little cherry dress that comes with Cottage Living, because I feel like this is one of those assets where you feel like you have to turn it around based on like the mesh that they have up here. But can we just take a moment of silence? Can we just like respect the design that's going on here? Beautiful. Stunning number from Fashion Street Kit, only made better by, again, the kind of opening and also this like long beaded moment that we have going down right the middle of the spine. It looks so good. Even though this came with my wedding stories, I do think this dress is like really nice for casual wear, especially like in anything minus the white. It does give a little bit bridesmaidy, but I just love the opening and the cutout once again. This little like halter, I kind of expect this dress to just be a halter around the neck, but then it has these straps on the back. Another werewolf asset that does in fact have a wee little elbow pad. Probably my third favorite kit of all time, Moonlight Chic. This dress is stunning as is, but then the back, just with the spaghetti straps, looks so good. Another one, werewolf werewolves with the elbow pads. They really upped their elbow pad game when it came to cottage living and werewolves. This little Centimates outfit is cute just because of the little detail of the fact that the collar is so far flipped over that you can see the inside tag. Another one that most people probably know about, but this outfit that obviously comes with the grunge kit, it does have little straps. Maybe people just thought that those were for a little detail, but if you turn it around, there is in fact a little rucksack, which is one of the only adult outfits that has like a form of a bag. Love this Lovestruck dress. Honestly, probably my favorite asset that came from Lovestruck. Another Lovestruck one that has a teardrop, definitely not as nice, but you know, she's there. This full body like workout gear that we got in one of the most recent kits in the Secret Sanctuary, and this has a big old opening in the back just in case you weren't aware. Maybe you just thought this was like a regular vest top. And finally, this little base game dress that again has this triangular cutout. Really wish that this frill honestly just went all the way around. I do think it looks a little bit awkward stopping there. And onto the masculine Sims. Whoo, that was a lot. Think how long it took me to find all of these assets. You are so welcome that I clicked through every single swatch ever made for you. City Living jersey has this weird barcode on the back. I've never really understood this one. I'm going to be so honest with you. I would genuinely just prefer this if it just had this front bit and then also this. This is a sports logo that they use on an awful lot of their stuff. They use this a lot on like fitness kit and things. Absolutely love these high school year jeans. This is what they look like originally. Obviously, you do have the little like ripped detail, but this really shows off what I mean about like the pattern continuing, because you can kind of see all of the panels being the same. And also on the back, you have a little cat on the pocket. You also just have like mismatching pockets in general on the back of these. They kind of line up with the patches. Fitness stuff, definitely not my favorite, but again, that logo that we were just talking about only exists on a couple of these hoodies. I just don't use this hoodie anyway because I don't like the drawstring like detail that they have going on the shoulders. Usually when there's a top like this that has paneling like on the front of the shoulders, it will move its way onto the back, but this one in particular is a little bit different because it just changes the pattern, and I really like this. I don't know, there's just something so satisfying about the way it like lines up with your Sim's head. I kind of wish that this was just a full denim jacket and then just had that bit, like none of the front patches or like pockets being different. I definitely get more use out of it if that was the case. The cats and dogs jumper, of course I couldn't forget about her. Your Honor, she's so cute. Just a giant cat in the middle. The veterinary outfit from Cats and Dogs also has a big paw print with a love heart on the back, just in case maybe you were creating an animal lover and you thought you could just get away with this little paw print on the front. No. Sorry to say, but the back is outing you. I like this t-shirt from Get Famous because it kind of does feel like you're working on a set. Some of these have little logos that I feel kind of show off like what the production is about. I feel like they gave these to like all the staff. Of course, the Air Force jacket from Strangerville does of course have a bunch of different patches. Another Strangerville shirt, the pattern continues from the front and also has this one on the back. I love it when they just have a pattern up here. Had to talk about the elephant in the room, didn't I? The English in the Simlish room. Moschino. There was no hiding her. We must have known that this existed. Like, it's a billboard for Moschino. Realm of Magic vest, and a couple of swatches in particular has this funky little pattern. More of them have that pattern. You can kind of see a little hint of it up on this shoulder than not. Maybe this is brought on by the fact that I don't use modern menswear stuff all that often, which, like, can you blame me? I feel like we're all in the same boat. You're like, yeah, you're not special, girl. Tell me why I had no idea that this jumper, obviously it has like cutouts on the chest and the arms. I did not know that this cutout existed, and now I actually might use this a little bit more. I already like this jumper. This is one of the better assets that came in that kit, but I think this makes it way more interesting. The horse wrench comes with this super cute little jacket. It is very like unassuming, which I really like, and then it also has the threading on the back. Had absolutely no idea that this hoodie One, it's a little bit low for my liking. I maybe would have preferred this if they had like put a t-shirt underneath it, but I do use it a fair bit. Again, it has elbow pads. Who was gonna tell me? One of the newer assets that we got, this cheeky little waistcoat from Life and Death. Super interesting back with these thread of crosses going down the spine. Denim jacket from Get Famous, again, has a couple of different like stamps on it. A lot of them tend to be numbers. Kind of love the 13. Okay, Taylor Swift. Bet you'll never ever guess what's on the back of this eco lifestyle blazer right here. If you said elbow patches, correct. I've only bloody gone and done it. I've only included a little bit of Batu. Does anyone ever use these on their Sims? Like, who actually walk around town? Who you know you aren't taking to Batu? Answer me honestly in the comments. And if you do, this one, okay, this one I can kind of see you getting away with. Like, it's got a little bit of Arabish. Is it Arabish or Arabesh? It kind of just looks like Simlish anyway. But if you do use Batu on just like your everyday Sims, let me know what assets, because I would love to try and style them as like an everyday wear. But I do really love the cut of this vest. It says a lot about masculine creator sim when, as I was flicking through these swatches, I was really looking out more so for like graphics than anything else, because I consistently always say when it comes to masculine creator sim, we need to play around with like lines, silhouettes, we need to play around with the shape of assets way more, and I only believe in that more now that really the only difference was like a lot of graphics. But this one from Snowy Escape, look at the little void critter on the back. I had no idea. And then these two just have writing, so the last four of this jacket. Another one from Snowy Escape, kind of like your ski jacket. It's this originally just this like khaki green, but if you go to this one with the little like drawing, kwabam, look at that. Absolutely stunning. I love the detail that they put into this jacket. Another one I genuinely had no idea about, but this top in particular that came with Snowy Escape has a giant tiger on the back. These are all plain swatches until you get to this black one in the middle, which has once again koi fish on it. The little computer program like hacker club that you have in high school years has this code written along the back. Of course, the racing jacket that came with, why can I never think of the name even though it's like one of my favorite kits? Moonlight Chic obviously has a ton of like sponsors on the back. This has multiple different graphics. As I was going through these swatches, my girlfriend walked into the room and was like, oh, had no idea he was on there. There's a dead freezer bunny on the back of, it might just be that one. No, the green one has a little like striped love heart. The red one has this like winking smiley face, and the black one, which is my personal favorite, has the cowplant skull. From Home Chef Hustle, this little t-shirt with the apron. When you get to the green, you again just have like some pizza and some waffles, kind of showing off like a couple of the businesses that you can open with Home Chef Hustle. Gothical Law Kit leather jacket has again these little ties going down either side of it. Yet another jersey that has like all of the sports thing that you expect. That is from Lovestruck. I wanted to include this one, even though it has the same pattern on the front, it carries on onto the back, and I really am glad that they didn't go ahead and just like block this out. It makes this asset so much more interesting that it's still all of the mesh even on the back. Guess what the Life and Death cardigan has? Little elbow patches. A brand new asset that we got in Casanova Cave. It takes the front pattern and also applies it to the back, so even though it isn't like a super cohesive one, also some of these do have sweat patches on, and the sweat patches also appear on the back. Does only one of these have sweat patches? Why would they not give us that in every single color that we had in the original? Don't think I've ever used the Salvadorada jacket in my life from Jungle Adventure, but there is this one in particular that does have a couple of different decals, and they have decals for every swatch. Base game fleece, elbow patches, but they're all brown. Another base game leather jacket that, again, love this one, like the no Somalian one. And then you've got the skeleton of a llama and the freezer bunny getting electrocuted. Moving on to the full body assets. City Living is still that girl. Images on the back of those first two swatches from City Living that just has a really sick design on the back. All of these tend to have something on the back as well. Whereas the front of the jackets are quite plain, the backs look absolutely incredible, apart from those last three. Personally, never ever used this Realm of Magic full body outfit, purely just because of the gloves and the sleeves and the fingers. I can't deal with that. But you kind of have this padded leather going down the back, which definitely gives it more intrigue. Had no idea that this Rain Mac from high school years actually had, again, some little logos. The more plain swatches do happen to have it. It's very, very subtle, so you probably wouldn't notice it unless you were like directly looking for it. Since we've had better like raincoats and stuff recently, I don't use a lot of the seasons, even for cold weather outfits nowadays, but I do quite like the last three swatches of this coat in particular, just because of the little like multicolor section. Fairly sure I've only used this Get Famous outfit like maybe once, maybe twice in my game, but you do have this little bunny and skull. This Get Famous outfit I've definitely used a little bit more, and you again just have the flowers from the front also taken over and kind of like blown up onto the back. My wedding stories obviously came with some gorgeous, gorgeous wedding outfits, and I absolutely love the gold clouds. Already fully forgotten that this was part of businesses and hobbies. I don't personally think I'm ever really gonna use this. I don't really like when outfits have the hood up. Had no idea that once again the hoodie had patches on its elbows. I also don't really like the way the puffer jacket looks. There's something about it that doesn't look great. It kind of looks a little bit too hand-drawn. And finally, we have the base game onesie. These kind of do just look like pretty plain from the front, but each one of these has a little design on the hood. So you have the freezer bunny, you obviously have... is his name Babalus? One of the small pets, and also I think a void critter, and then you have a bunch of different void critters. The Grim Reaper one, void critter, void critter, void critter, the school freezer bunny, and then also just this like little colorful one. The freezer bunny one is defo my favorite. I was gonna say I would own this in real life. I'm not really a onesie girl anymore. In university, I definitely would have worn this. Also, not gonna lie, but onesies are so expensive. Like, when onesies were a thing, those things were going for like £90. And knowing The Sims shipping on their website, it would probably make it up to be like more like 150. And I'm not spending that on a freezer bunny onesie that I'm never gonna wear. There's Create a Sim from behind. I do apologize for how long this video is probably gonna turn out to be. Trust me, it took longer to set this up because I truly went through like pretty much every swatch. If you are one of those people who never turns their Sims around, what are you doing? Do you not know that your Sims could be booty cheeked up to the high heavens and you would just never know? Hopefully this video was helpful. If I am missing any and you want to politely point them out in the comments down below, absolutely feel free. I am always down for learning about new Create a Sim items that may very quickly potentially become one of my favorites. If there were any here that you didn't know about that you maybe are going to start using a little bit more, I would love to know which pieces. But thank you all so much for tuning in. Once again, thank you to Bond with Bees for the idea for this video. I think it's such a fun concept, especially for someone like me who enjoys going through Create a Sim, reminding myself of like what we do have, what can work with certain things. Let me know if there's any other like Create a Sim-esque videos that you want to see anytime soon, because I'm always down to hang out for hours in Create a Sim.